Shalom. Call law Yahweh Shemiel Shai by Shem Rakakadash. Dub honors to the apostles, elders, and bishops at Great Millstone that taught us this truth, the 100% truth, and rule well, and to the men that taught them. Peace and blessings to the hopefully elect nation of Israel, and that begins with the 144,000 prophets today. Also, that great multitude of men, women, and children the Heavenly Father is going to have mercy on. And to you so-called blacks, Latinos, Native Americans, we are the true Hebrew Israelites of the Bible, of the Holy Scriptures. And this is your brother Dawada Kuhn, another lesson. And this lesson is entitled, His Eye Will Be Evil Towards His Brother. And you see in this article here, it says court docs, man killed after alleged fight over Black and Mild, So I'll read a little of the article, but this is pretty much Jake right here. But it's crazy. Let's go and read some of the article. A deadly shooting happened after a fight over tobacco. Court documents allegate Ladarius Alexander, 35, was charged with murder Friday in the death of 36-year-old D. Kevin Lewis. On March 25th, Lewis' body was found at a now shuttered after hours club along Lockburn Road. Alexander was identified as a person of interest, but police later said was no longer a person of interest in this investigation. Charging documents filed by detectives said witness interviews identified Alexander, who reportedly told police they saw Alexander shooting Lewis in the head, and injured his left hand in the process. Video surveillance from Walmart showed him gauze wrapped around his hand after shooting, detectives wrote. When interviewed by the police, Alexander allegedly admitted to getting into a fight with Lewis over a Black and Mild. Wow. Alexander, the police said, claimed Lewis pulled a gun on him, and Alexander took it from him and shot Lewis. He added that he also shot himself in the hand at the same time. And Alexander was charged late Friday afternoon and booked into Franklin County Jail. So you see it here, And in this article here, this basically tells you, this is a prime example of the Most High put curses on our nation. You know what I'm saying? And this is not only just this incident. It's been a lot of lately in the news. We've been seeing Jake, acting the fool, you know what I'm saying? Regardless if it's the nigger woman being put to death or, Jake being put to death, by our own people, and that tells you right there, that tells you right there that we pretty much, as a whole, the Most High put a curse on our nation, And you see that in the story I just read, Jake has a hate towards his own brother, you know what I'm saying? And don't even realize that this is nothing but senseless killings, that our people are doing, to each other, but it goes back to the curses, you know what I'm saying? And that proves that we are the children of Israel, you know what I'm saying? The so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, And this is what Jake, is doing out here now, you know what I'm saying? They just basically killing each other for no reason, Just stupid. Over a Black and Mild, man? Come on now. You know what I'm saying? You could have, said, brother, can I get you a Black and Mild? You know what I'm saying? I go... But that's wicked anyway, you know what I'm saying? That's going off, you know what I'm saying? But that's what our people, love, wickedness. You know what I'm saying? We don't supposed to be smoking that, you know. But that's what happens when you're caught up into this world, man. You know what I'm saying? This is what happens when, Esau has corrupted your mind and messed up your mind. You know what I'm saying? You know? Just a senseless, killing over something stupid. And let me go to Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 54. It says here, so the man that is tender among you, yeah. So the man that is tender among you and very delicate, yeah, because back in the ancient times, we had brotherly love towards our people, man, towards one another. You know what I'm saying? We'll you seen a brother come in town, they'll say, oh, come on over. You know what I'm saying? Let him rest his head, feed him. You know what I'm saying? Before he goes on. You know what I'm saying? With the family and everything. But now, all we have is an evil eye to our brother. You know what I'm saying? Because we've been conditioned. You know what I'm saying? We've been messed up. We took on the ways of Esau, separating so-called white people, man, being evil, and now all we do is do, black on black crime, you know what I'm saying, to one another, you know what I'm saying? And what does it say? It said his eyes should be evil towards his brother, yeah, you know what I'm saying? And that was one of the curses that fell upon us, you know what I'm saying? You Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, that we can't stand, each other, you know what I'm saying? The Most High, and the Most High did that to us, you know what I'm saying? Only because of our disobedience, you know what I'm saying? Breaking the law, statutes, and commandments, our forefathers, you know what I'm saying? And what's so crazy about it is that we're quick to fight, one another. You'll fight another brother. You put you pull out a gun, or you try to stab him, or you try to do any bodily harm. You try to harm him. If it's through like road rage, or you know what I'm saying, or man, if a brother was to go to a club, he got some nice kicks on, some nice Jordans on, you step on the brother's shoe, man, they'll want to kill you over that. You know what I'm saying? And in the same way in this article, man, over a black and mild, you know what I'm saying? That's crazy, But that's how that's where we are today. You know what I'm saying? Just stupidity. But when it comes to Esau, you don't have that same energy. You know what I'm saying? You gang banging over colors and everything. But if a brother walks through the neighborhood, you know what I'm saying, with colors on that, oh man, who you here for? Who you represent? You know what I'm saying? Just see the brother on with a color that fighting over colors. Come on, man. Fighting over blocks, man, that you don't even own, man. Esau own all that. You know what I'm saying? And you gonna stoop to his stupidity and do that. You know what I'm saying? But let Esau come through the neighborhood. Man, Esau can walk through the neighborhood with no problem. They ain't gonna blink an eye. They ain't gonna stop and say, hey, what you doing in this neighborhood? You know what I'm saying? No, they're gonna be, you know what they're gonna do? They're gonna be super nice to him. You know what I'm saying? He can even ask him, hey man, can you give me directions to such and such? Man, they're gonna tell him exactly where to go. But let Jake go through there. You know what I'm saying? Shit, Jake ain't even gonna get out of there because they're gonna rob him, and then they're gonna kill Jake. You know what I'm saying? And that goes for man, woman, or child. You know what I'm saying? But you know what that all falls back on? That all falls back to Stockholm syndrome. That's what our people have. Our people have been destroyed from the lack of knowledge. You know what I'm saying? Because we have forgotten where we came from. We've forgotten. You know what I'm saying? And it says, and towards the wife of his bosom. Yeah. And if you notice, there was another article recently that Jake, I think in Shreveport, Louisiana, man, he killed a lot of his kids. I can't remember how many kids it was. But then also he shot a couple of the mom, and I don't think it was the auntie or one of them, and put them in the hospital. But it's no different, even with the woman, with the wife of his bosom. You know what I'm saying? And what that sound like? That's basically domestic violence. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? And the reason we have so many fights between Jake and Eve, you know what I'm saying, in the household, is we've been conditioned to hate each other, man. And that all falls back, going way back, man. Back, when, I don't know if if it started during the 70s or the 80s, but it's all was set up through Esau, man. You know what I'm saying, child support, that Section 8, that welfare, you know what I'm saying, dividing the families, you know what I'm saying? The devil, he found a way to split the family structure up, you know what I'm saying? And he knew what he was doing, you know what I'm saying? And also, by giving, the nigger woman, the so-called black woman, better jobs than us, you know what I'm saying? And that was like a, bumping heads right there, you know what I'm saying? Eve making more money than you, so she feel like she got more power over you, you know what I'm saying? But what's the order, you know what I'm saying? And I think that's what, 1 Corinthians 11, chapter 11, verse 3. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? It goes Yahweh Shai, man, woman, and children, you know what I'm saying? But see, Esau knew what he was doing, you know what I'm saying? And that's why everything is all messed up in the family structure of ours, And that's why you see so many killings out here, so many killings, And what's another thing that Eve always push out there? I don't need no man, you know what I'm saying? Because Esau taught you those ways, you know what I'm saying? But I bet your mind is thinking different now because so much stuff going up now, you know what I'm saying? Gas going up, food going up, you know what I'm saying? Rent going up, all kind of stuff going up, you know what I'm saying? So I bet you ain't trying to say I don't need no man. You probably trying to say I do need a man. But the pride of you, because of Esau taught you, you gonna probably still say, oh, I don't need no man. But see, all that's gonna change, you know what I'm saying? And you all, what's the saying? I could do better by myself. I don't need you. I don't need no man. Yeah, because that's how Esau, Edom, became so-called white man, the devil the Bible speak of. The deceiver. You know what I'm saying? That's what he did. To our people. And what does it say? And towards the remnant of his children, which he should leave. Yeah. And who is the main one to leave their kids, man? You know what I'm saying? Who fit those curses, man? In Deuteronomy 28 and 54. Only Jake, man. We the number one on the top of the list. So, man, who these scoffers out here talking about, well, we ain't the people of the Bible, blah, 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 blah. Well, okay. So who is the main one leaving their children? It's Jake, you know what I'm saying? So you can get the hell out of here, man. You know what I'm saying? You just doing that because you want Babylon the Great to keep going on, man. But I got something to tell you. Babylon is through. Babylon is done. So you don't have to worry about that no more. You know what I'm saying? You can stick the fork in it. You know what I'm saying? Let's go to Leviticus chapter 19 verse 17, because we supposed to be, you know what I'm saying, have brotherly love to our people. You know what I'm saying? Leviticus chapter 19, verse 17. Thou shalt not hate thy brother in thy heart. Yeah. Because like I said again, because in the ancient times, you know what I'm saying, we didn't have hate for our brothers. We showed nothing but love to one another. You know what I'm saying? But if you fast forward to today, you know what I'm saying, shoot, we don't know how to show that love towards one another. You know what I'm saying? Because, like I said, the father has been taken out of the household, and now who's running it? Big Shirley. You know what I'm saying? And that's why you see men are so emotional today. Like in this article here, he just, flew off the hand, and he said that the brother took the gun out. He took it from him and shot him. But it don't matter, you know what I'm saying? It was all built on emotions, you know what I'm saying? Like sissies, like women, you know what I'm saying? You can't talk it over like a man and then go your own separate ways. But see, we've been so messed up in the head, you know what I'm saying, that we don't know how to do that. But I'm gonna tell you this: when you come in this truth, man, this truth make you become a man. You know what I'm saying? You own up to your wrongdoings, and that's a part of the law. You know what I'm saying? To love your brother and don't hate him. You know what I'm saying? And it says, "And thou shalt in any wise rebuke thy neighbor, and not suffer sin upon him." Yeah. Because if you see your brother going off, man, you supposed to rebuke him, man. You supposed to tell him, hey, man, you wrong. You wrong. You know what I'm saying? And I'm speaking first and foremost for myself. And then you don't supposed to, hammer it in his head. You know, you supposed to build that brother back up. You know what I'm saying? And now that's showing brotherly love. You know what I'm saying? Because we all supposed to examine ourselves. What's that scripture say? Examine yourself. You know what I'm saying? Paraphrasing. And we supposed to be our brother keeper. You know what I'm saying? Because if our brother is if our brother is feeling pain and doing bad, then we feel the same way. We're doing bad too. So you don't supposed to go and just, you don't just supposed to just turn your head and make it seem like you don't see nothing going down or going wrong. No. You're supposed to say something about it. You know what I'm saying? And and it says not suffer sin upon him. Yeah. You know, you don't want to wish nothing bad on him, but you're supposed to rebuke him if he's doing wrong. You know what I'm saying? And you're supposed to tell him, man, you got to get your act together, man. You going off, you wrong. You know what I'm saying? And like I said again, I'm speaking first and foremost about myself. You know what I'm saying? You got to examine yourself, because when that time comes, you're supposed to be able to make sure you're able to do that, you know? Let's go to, I'm going to close out with this, Jeremiah chapter 2, verse 21. And it says, "Yet I have planted thee a noble vine, wholly a right seed." Yeah. The right, you know what I'm saying? That's right, you know. Most High look at us like a noble vine, you know what I'm saying? A right seed. Why? Because our people are supposed to be righteous, you know, a righteous seed, you know what I'm saying? You know, that's how the Most High looks at us. He looks at us as a holy people, Deuteronomy 7:6, separate above all people upon the face of the earth. You know what I'm saying? So we supposed to carry ourselves like, like we have class about ourselves. You know what I'm saying? Like we supposed to carry ourselves like kings and princesses. We don't supposed to carry ourselves like niggas, low-level niggas, where we fighting amongst one another in front of each other, you know what I'm saying? And then when kids get around, you try to pretend that you don't do that. But then when kids ain't around, you start fighting, amongst one another. No, that's not, So you trying to teach them the right way, but then here you is, your knucklehead ass, doing the opposite, And it says, "How then art thou turned into a degenerate plant of a strange vine unto me?" Yeah. And this is what our people have turned into, a degenerate plant, a strange vine. Basically just lost, you know what I'm saying? Destroyed as a heritage, because you know why? Because we lost who we was. We don't know that we have a heritage. Israel has been basically destroyed, and that's why we're not tender amongst each other. You know what I'm saying? Basically just killing each other over stupid stuff, over colors, man. Or if you stepped on my shoe, stupid stuff. And our people have a natural hatred towards one another, and it goes all the way back to the curses, man, that the Most High put on us. So if you don't get yourself right, you know what I'm saying? If you see your brother, like I'm speaking of the elected in 1/3, not these niggas 2/3, they're going to be put to death. You got to understand that nothing is going to change, man. It's going to keep on being like that. And it's going to get turned up even more, you know. And it's going to be until the Most High come back and destroy this place, Babylon the Great, a.k.a. America. So the electing 2/3, man, it's like electing 1/3. You know what I'm saying? Of course, we're supposed to rebuke each other and make sure we getting each other right. But these 2/3 niggas, they're going to be faced with death. Because all they're going to do is keep on doing what Edom want them to do. Their daddy, John 8:44. You know what I'm saying? So I hope that was edifying. I want to say Shalom. I want to say Call Law, Yahweh Shem Shai by Shem Kakadash. Double honors to the apostles, elders, bishops, that great millstone that ruled well, that taught us this 100% truth. Peace and salutations to the Akim on the four corners of this earth, teaching us truth, risking their lives each and every week on the highways and the byways. And to the brothers and sisters tuning in for edification. Shalom.